But I want to ask you, how are you? How are you? How are you doing? I want to ask you, how are you really doing? Really, really, really. As you'll notice, I drink a lot of water. I bring water everywhere, but I don't drink beyond thirst. I drink to thirst. But I think drink to thirst is the best advice for water drinking. Glasses, my glasses, because I'm an old lady now. 45, over 40, your vision just goes to shit. I think almost all my friends have said from 40 onwards, their vision just turned to shit. Right, let's go get petrol. I've just dropped my son off at school. What a beautiful day. It's gorgeous. We are February the 9th today, 2024. And I'm feeling good. I slept well, finally. I finally slept so well. Oh, there's his music. Nope. And yesterday I realized why I was feeling so down, depressed, weepy, mopey, tired. Besides the fact that I hadn't slept so well on the night before, I got my period. I got my freaking period. And I'm on HRT and I'm trying to not get a period, but I still get one. So so it came, well, out of the blue, because there's no, other than I actually got PMS, which I didn't realize I was getting PMS. But I don't know if you guys, okay, this could be TMI. I don't know if any of you ladies have it where you get the runs on the morning of your period starting. It's almost like the hormones or whatever it is, the uterine contractions, it releases everything. So yeah, I got the runs yesterday, was feeling weepy, mopey, and then by the afternoon, evening, ta-da, somebody arrived, my period. So I'm trying to not have a period. I would really like to not have my monthly bleed. So what I'm trying to do with the HRT that I'm on, and for those of you who are interested in HRT, please go and check out my main channel. I've got a lot of information there. So I'm on estrogen gel cream, which I have to rub in every day. Yes, it's a bit of a pain. I'm on progesterone at night. I think the progesterone could go higher and then I might not have a bleed. Anyway, so I'm on progesterone at night, the estrogen gel, and I am on half a pump of female dosed testosterone because my body produces very, very little testosterone. So I'm on those three things. Now I'm on a constant steady dose. I don't cycle the progesterone, which would mimic a cycle. I just stick to like a standard steady dose. Potholes. I'm going over a million potholes here. South African potholes, or Durban and potholes, KZN. Anyway, so I'm on this dose of progesterone, which in theory should be balancing out the estrogen, and in theory I should not be bleeding. That's what the gynae had said to me. But theory is theory and reality is reality, where I've had, this will be my third period on my HRT regime. Other than that, I feel amazing on the HRT. Sorry, I'm experimenting with this camera here. So I don't want to stop the HRT. What I want to do is, and I have booked to see this gynae again, what I want to do is put in a Mirena. Now, Mirena is a intrauterine device, IUD, that delivers progesterone, synthetic progesterone. It delivers it locally to your uterus, so you don't have the progesterone traveling all throughout your whole body. And it's synthetic, so you wouldn't really want it traveling throughout your whole body because they've found that it's the synthetic progesterones that are not so fantastic. Anyway, so the natural progesterone that I'm on, the micronized bioidentical progesterone, it's called Utrogestin. With that stuff, I sleep really well. In the beginning, when I first started taking it, I actually could feel that sleepiness come on about half an hour after I took the tablets. So it does work. It does work to make me sleepy at least. I need petrol, so I've got to go and fill up. So that is what I'm going to do, is put the Mirena in. Also speak to the gynae about possibly upping the dose of progesterone. Because how awesome would it be, ladies, how awesome to never have a period if you don't need to. I don't want to get pregnant. I've had my kid. I'm done with all of that. So freaking awesome if I could just skip the period part from 45 onwards. How wonderful. But clearly you can see I'm not in perimenopause. Although apparently if you're on HRT, you can still have bleeding because the HRT is obviously mimicking your hormones. And what is a period? It is the shedding of your uterine lining. And so now let's just have a little lesson in HRT for you ladies. And the estrogen is what grows your uterine lining, and the progesterone comes along and halts the thickening. But if the progesterone is not matching that properly, so maybe I'm not on enough progesterone daily, then the lining will grow and then it needs to shed. The reason it's important to shed your lining and not have it overgrow is that obviously, like all cancers, too much growing can stimulate cancerous growth. Not that it will cause cancer, but it is a direct causative link from what I read is that if your uterus is just growing and growing and growing with no progesterone to stop it, it is a link to cancer. So who wants uterine cancer when we know how to prevent it? No, no one. So that is why on all HRT protocols, if you have your uterus, you need progesterone. If you don't have a uterus, you can just take estrogen. There may be, I don't know, I'm not the doctor, I'm the patient, but the patient who's very well informed. There may be benefits to micronized progesterone in and of itself. From everything I read, it's very conflicting, whether there is or there isn't. Some women have reported a lot of benefits to taking just progesterone, and others say no. I'm on it because I have a uterus and I need it, but whether it offers any other benefits, like for your mood, I don't know. They say it's a muscle relaxant, they say it helps with sleep, which I'm finding. But then they also say that it's the estrogen that helps with sleep, so who knows? But there you go. There's a little lesson in HRT. I'm going to go and put in petrol now. But isn't it amazing how much better you feel after a good night's sleep? Sure, do I feel better. Yesterday I was almost going to cry. A friend of mine had said of another friend, she said, she just needs to sleep. And it was such wise words because if you are sleep deprived, you actually start to go a bit loopy. Now, I'm not sleep deprived, but I've had a few nights recently where I didn't sleep well, I didn't sleep long enough. So I would fall asleep, have that initial 5 hours, and then wake up for a pee, and then not be able to get back to sleep, or have my brain just so wide awake. And it does affect you. It does affect you. And so a lot of what we call mental health disorders could just be that we are not sleeping properly. Like it could be from too much alcohol, too much going out late, too much staying up late, watching TV, working late, whatever, smoking weed, anything that can affect your brain chemistry and prevent you from deep sleep. That could actually affect your mood and your mental state. So sleep is so important. I don't think we need to stress about sleep. What we need to do is just create the environment where it's easy to sleep, darkened room, cooler room, a regular routine, all the things. But people are going like sleep crazy on the internet, and I think don't stress about sleep because that kind of defeats the purpose. You don't want to stress and then now you're thinking about sleep and now you can't sleep. But just create the environment and just be normal and natural about it, and also realize that your body, when it's tired, it will make you sleep. You will sleep if you're tired, if you're tired enough. But to also realize that don't put yourself unnecessarily so in positions where you can't sleep, like too many late nights, too much late night TV, too much alcohol. I'm not saying don't go out and drink with your friends. Socializing's fine. I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I'm not a big fan, but now and then I do. I go out and I let loose. I mean, fuck it. And this is the fuck it channel, so this is where I'm honest. Like sometimes I will go out and just have too much to drink, and then you don't sleep well, but then the next night you do. But sleep, guys, I feel like a whole new woman, like new. You might even hear that I'm speaking faster uh, compared to the previous uploads. So it's just, hallelujah. Jesus, petrol's expensive, eh? It's just getting ridiculous. The price of everything is just getting ridiculous. You can see I've moved the camera down. So I'm now going to my house that I have got for sale. Just got to take the last few things out of there. So I'm selling my little property, my house, and I have moved in with my partner, boyfriend. I say partner because it does sound very, very juvenile to say boyfriend, but he's my boyfriend. And it's an emotional thing to sell a home that was such a lovely, lovely, good little, it was a beautiful house. It is a beautiful house. Cute, 3-bedroom little simplex, duplex, complex, whatever, I don't know what you call it, in a complex. So yeah, just going to go and take the last few things. And then today, like I haven't been to gym this whole week, which for me is not normal. But I'm also, the older I get, the more I'm sort of slowly taking time off of gym now and then because I am getting tired. I love the routine and then I hate the routine. And then sometimes you just need a break. And also sometimes I know the world has gone exercise and gym crazy, but it seems to me like it's another one of these modern fads on the internet and everyone's pushing resistance training, muscle building, build muscle, resistance train. And I think a lot of it's coming from the gym bros and this fascination with bodybuilding, which is fine. I also love it. I'm fascinated by it. But 30, 40, 50 years ago, it wasn't a thing. This whole gym and gym going trend craze and muscle building and all this. And I don't think that the gym is for everyone. It really isn't. It's not something that if it's not your thing, don't fucking do it. I see people feel guilty now. Oh, I should be going to gym. I should be weight training. I should be doing exercise. You know, our primitive ancestors only exercised because because they had to hunt down lions and, I mean, not lions, they had to hunt down antelope. I know what the primitive ancestors did because I live in Africa and I've seen tribes. I've been to Kenya. They don't weight train and resistance train, and most of them in their natural habitat will try and relax as much as possible. They're not trying to build excessive amounts of muscle, and they are quite slim, skinny, small, whatever the word is. I think the world is going resistance training crazy. And also, if we're talking about longevity and centenarians, my grandfather on my dad's side, my flesh and blood grandfather, he lived till 96 and he lived healthy right up until his 90s. It was only the last few years I think he fell. And then he he lived with my aunt and then he went to an old age home. But he was still fully present. I think he only had glasses. He didn't even have hearing aids. He was an amazing example of health. He never weight trained. He never weight trained. It wasn't a thing. He used to walk his dog right up into his 80s every day, but that was all. And he did housework. And he ate sugar and a lot of carbs. I remember we would go and visit him and he ate porridge. He would make mealie meal. He ate toast and jam. He would cook pasta for us. He did all the things that, freaking hell, no one tells you to do these things because these things are now considered unhealthy. But I remember he would eat in moderation, though. It was in moderation. He got moderate physical activity. He cleaned his own house right up until he had a maid as well. Domestic work. I'm not allowed to say maid. Sorry, PC. It's not a PC word anymore. But he had a cleaner but she only came once a week, I think. But he did all the work. I've got such a pain in my neck here. And I remember he was just, he didn't drink and he didn't smoke. There's an article in the paper I've got of him at 90, whatever, they were celebrating him turning 90, I think. But he had all his faculties. He was a meek, mild, calm. I don't remember his personality too much, but anyway, the point is, talking about him, yes, we need activity, but I don't think everyone should be feeling guilty if they are not in the gym and they can't get to the gym, or it's too much effort, or it's just not their thing. Just let it go. Just move around. Housework is fucking exercise. There you go. Let's go inside. But sure, look at this, how beautiful. This is my old house, and we've put new floors in. Sheesh, it really does look amazing. Wow, it's looking good. This will sell fast, I think. So, where am I? Am I in frame? So this is my unedited, unfiltered channel, which I just don't know. I'm trying something new. Now, I don't want to ramble too much. I think I'm just do what I've got to do here. But at least here at this house, it's quiet, peaceful. So if you've been following my whole series on this channel, you would have heard that at my boyfriend's house, we've got a guy painting the house. We've got a guy pressure cleaning the house. Well, he's pressure cleaning, and then the painter's going behind and painting the clean walls. We've got the guy in the garden. We've got the domestic worker cleaning the house. It's all lovely and wonderful, and I'm blessed and I'm happy. But I'm the type of person who needs her own space, and she just needs to be calm and alone at times. And I haven't had that. And I've realized that it's okay to feel what I feel. I think I'm the type of person who always, oh, you can't say that. You shouldn't feel that way. You should be grateful. You should be this. You should be that. I am grateful. But I also had to acknowledge that's where I started to get this like pressure feeling building up inside of me. Like, I just need quiet. Which this house was that. This house was, so I bought this house when things didn't work out with my son's father. And we bought this house. So this was my space, my precious house, my sanctuary. And right now, my boyfriend's house is not a sanctuary. And I think that is the problem. You need home to feel like you're released. You want your home to be that place where you just go and you go, and it hasn't been that there. And I think that's what the problem has been, is that I'm like, where do I just get to relax, unwind, let loose, be me, just flop? There's always something to do around the house. And also, you've got to realize, for me, as somebody who's trying to be a YouTuber, I am a YouTuber, damn it, not trying. I am. Own it. As a YouTuber, I spend most of the day in the house because I'm editing videos. I'm behind the computer all day long, which is also, that's the part I don't enjoy. But I'm in the house, and I need to get out of the house. But then where do I go for peace and quiet? Nowhere. There isn't a place. And so we all need to, like, if you watching this, just the takeaway is you need to check in with yourself. Check in with your mental health and how you are doing, really, really. And just do what you need to do if you need to do something. I guess that's the takeaway message there. So I'm hungry now. I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I had my usual square of dark chocolate. I usually have 2 cups of coffee a day. I mean, a day. In the morning, not a day. And I only had one cup and a half. But I'm hungry now. But I'm trying to just not eat too much all the time, because sometimes my appetite gets so much that I just eat and eat and eat. And like not all, most females. Are there any women that just really own their appetite? I don't know. But I would like to just lose a little just like, that little bit of, I know it's nitpicky, a little bit of body fat. I'd like to lose 2 kgs. That's really, I just want to lose 2 kgs. This morning I was 53.3 when I woke up, and then I had coffee. It's incredible, like when you weigh yourself regularly. So I've lost attachment. I don't freak out about the scale, but I weigh myself regularly. The one morning, my weight dropped, was it like 700 grams just from being on the toilet, really? So, so the way, like I've seen water weight and weight fluctuation can be quite a lot. And if you eat a lot one day, all that food also holds a lot of water in your system. So the one day I really pigged out. I didn't sleep well, like I really pigged out. The next day I was 3 kilograms, which is like 6 point something pounds, higher than I was the day before, which just shows you that if you overeat, you overindulge, and you've been quite good, like I dieted quite well the day before, and I'd been quite good and my weight had come down. There's water weight and inflammation and a whole lot of things. By the end of that day, I had dropped a whole kg. So just realize that if your weight fluctuates, don't freak out from day to day. A kg, 2 kgs is not a big deal. You need to look at the trend over time. So I know that for me, the 2 kgs I want to lose 2 kgs of actual body fat. And I know I need to just control the portions. And yes, I talk about weight loss on my main channel because I do know the way, but I do owe people an apology, I think, because for sheer curiosity and research purposes, I've been watching a lot of videos on Ozempic and how it works, just to understand the mechanism, because I've seen these pictures of Oprah. She looks like, wow, she's just dropped the weight, and apparently she's on these weight loss injections. So I was very curious. And then there's all the Kardashians who are rumored to be using it. And Sharon Osbourne, I mean, she does look very, very gaunt now. And so I was curious as to how this whole thing works. And then you listen to the stories that people have on YouTube, their own personal journeys. And usually there are people who have struggled with their weight all their life. And I've realized that in some of my videos, I've said the wrong thing, and I need to apologize to people. I've said, yes, weight loss is not easy, but it's very simple. And in a way, it's true. It is simple. Calories in, calories out. But the part that's hard, and what I need to apologize for, is that if your body is not giving you those feelings of fullness and satiety, and you never feel full, you're always going to want to eat no matter how many calories you've taken in. And in a way, I do get that, because the older I get, the more I think about food and the more I have, or the more I struggle with feelings of just feeling full. Food is such a comfort and it's such an emotional thing that I too struggle with the enoughness, the switch which just says enough. I mean, I look at my son who just, when he's full, he's full. He will not eat beyond being full. And I can see, like, in a young, healthy person like my son, that off switch is there and it works brilliantly. When he was little, he would not take another bite, even of his favorite food, which back then was chocolate cake, because I loved chocolate cake myself. And he would not take another bite of even the best chocolate cake if he was full. He would eat, and then poof, just stop. And it's incredible to witness. And as adults, we lose that off switch. Even I am quote unquote slender, but I've got big, chunky, meaty legs. But I battle with the off switch at times. And so I can see how, with disordered eating, with maybe you grew up in a household where you were forced to finish all your food, or maybe you grew up in a household where your mother was very, I don't know, not anorexic, but worried about her weight, portion controlled. Maybe they rewarded you with food. I was rewarded with food. Every time I did well at school, we went out for dinner. I was definitely rewarded with food. So I can see how with disordered eating and disordered patterns around food and the genetic thing where if your whole family is obese, there is a genetic component. I'm not saying that there isn't. So yes, the path to weight loss might always be calorie restriction, but to do it in the real world is fucking hard. And I do get that. I acknowledge that. So I am sorry for the tone of some of my videos. Yeah, I think. And because now I'm getting more of an understanding of it is more difficult because of the modern world, because of these influences, because of just the way we live and the food we have access to and all of the messaging about food and bodies and it's a complicated topic. I can see how these weight loss drugs like semaglutide, if it tells your brain that you are satisfied and you are full and you're feeling fuller, magic. And if that is the key for these people, I don't knock it at all. In fact, I'm thinking that because our modern world is so fucked up around food and dieting, and processed food is just way too easy to overeat on, and our bodies probably don't have that feedback loop that works so well anymore. There's a million and one reasons. If that drug can do that for those people, brilliant. And I need to say sorry for saying that it's not easy, but it's simple. Maybe it's not as simple as I thought. In fact, I watched a brilliant interview it's on a channel called Dr. Mike, and he interviewed, what's her name? She's an obesity specialist, this beautiful, thin, blonde, I think she sounds Latin American lady, doctor, and she was just going into the nuances of it, and it changed my thinking. So I am sorry. Whoa, so we got deep into weight loss here. But there's my thoughts, is that I think weight gain, weight loss, calories in, calories out, it's simple, but also it's not. And it's very complex and it's very nuanced. And every person does need to do what works for them and find what works for them. And also to add to the conversation is that, are we all too obsessed with our weight? Yes, we are. Yes, there's a point where it gets unhealthy. And where too much weight gets unhealthy is what I'm saying. It also gets to the point where obsessing over every kg on our body gets unhealthy. We all know that as well. And so I think about these things a lot. Like if you look at art and art history, like the Renaissance period and those paintings of these voluptuous, curvy, feminine women, were they healthy, unhealthy? No one even knew about all the medical health issues that we have today. I don't know. Are those healthy women or are they not? But women do need body fat. I'm hitting my rump here. We do need to have the curves. It is what makes us able to bear children and to have, like here, this narrow, but all this here. You see that mostly on African women, African-American women, Brazilians, like different cultures carry all that kind of very feminine weight a lot more. Us Caucasians tend to be a lot more up and down, narrow, straight. Asians as well, actually. It's interesting how also it is cultural and your genetics does play a role. It does. It plays a role in how much body fat your body wants to store and where it stores it. So it is more complex than I made it seem. So yeah, I just need to apologize. And That's it. I'm saying almost goodbye. Almost everything's out of this house. It is. It has been listed. Well, I'm gonna move this. So yeah, time to say goodbye. Changes, life changes, eh? That's the constant in life is change. Always, always. That's about the wisest words I can think of to say. And speaking of wise words, there are so many young YouTubers who are spouting nonsense bullshit advice. Please be careful when you listen to anyone's advice on YouTube. I'm not saying it's not good, but there's not always good advice. And sometimes it really doesn't apply to you. And as you've heard, I'm apologizing. Even some of the weight loss advice that I've been giving, it will work for most people, but not for everyone. And it will probably not work for those who are seriously struggling and who have like diabetes and stuff. I'm not a doctor, so yeah, just because it has worked for me, what I said, doesn't mean it's going to work for those with actual medical problems, health problems. And so there you go. Like I said, I owe people an apology, and yeah, well, I'm human, but that is a problem on YouTube, or in fact, anywhere in life, humans are human, and they all make mistakes. Even my partner and I went to a doctor so my partner went to this doctor to try and get TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and the doctor, instead of wanting to prescribe the testosterone gel for men, he wanted to put my partner on antidepressants. I mean, what the actual fuck? Come on now. You know, my partner's willing to test and not go over physiological levels for testosterone, but his testosterone has tested low and he needs the boost, and he's struggling right now. And this doctor would rather prescribe something with far worse side effects, something not even natural to the body, than just try and put him on testosterone gel cream. So anyway, my partner, at least what he said to the doctor was, you know what, I'm actually looking for somebody to work with me on this. If you don't prescribe it for me, then like I'm going to go somewhere else. So the guy did prescribe it for him. He prescribed 2 lots, and then he's going to have to go and test again or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it just shows you, even these people that we trust and the experts, they can lead you down a wrong path. To me personally, antidepressants, they have their place. I'm not saying that they don't, but I saw they can do bad for you, more bad than good. In my father's case, my father always, his whole life, suffered with depression, and the antidepressants never helped because he was still depressed. And then I actually think he died from all the antidepressants he was on. He was on like 5, about 3 antidepressants, anti-anxiety, blah, 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 and sleeping tablets. And he drowned in his swimming pool, and yet he used to swim every single day. And so I believe that the medication zonked him out, and something happened, something went wrong in the pool, or maybe the medication affected him physiologically and he had a stroke. I don't know. The autopsy just came back drowned. Well, duh, I know. So it wasn't conclusive. But again, it doesn't matter what the autopsy says. He's gone. He's not coming back. But I just saw that the antidepressants did not help him. They didn't help him. And in fact, they made him worse. They turned him into a zombie, and then he could barely even drive at the end. And it was a shit show. And so I am not a big fan. I think you can use them when you need them. And like everything, it's a nuanced discussion, and it depends, and it's case dependent, and all of that. But here's this fucking doctor trying to say that he should go on antidepressants. No, let's just try something that is more like natural to the body. You're just replacing what the body used to make. And I know it's normal for men for their levels to get lower, but also, why feel like shit? You know, and that's what my boyfriend is saying. He doesn't want to feel like shit. So yeah, there you go. But ugh, look how wrinkly my neck looks in this lighting, and at that angle, oh my God. Jesus Christ. You know, you think you're aging well when you see yourself in good light, and then you just catch a bad angle. And I know I'm not special. I know I'm going to age like everybody, but sometimes I'm like, oh, it's happening faster than I would have anticipated or liked or whatever. I don't even know what. So no wonder I thought my mother looked old, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm sure I'm looking younger. No, I'm not. I'm actually, look at all that, all the, and I know it's superficial to worry about it, but I can't help it. I would love to look younger, and I know you would too. And then that's just, it's societal programming. We get that. We get that it's all superficial and societal, and it's just programmed into us, but we can't help it, ladies. We still would like to look younger than we are. And how does Nicole Kidman do it? We were watching again the expat, and I mean she's in her 50s, and there was a scene, and it looks like it's lit properly, and I don't see any etched wrinkles. Yes, her forehead moves and it wrinkles, but when her face is at rest, there's no etched lines or wrinkles or any of that. Like none of this shit. How? How? I would love to know exactly what she does. So, what actually works, and how much did it cost, and how often she goes for treatment, and is it lasers, or is it fillers, or is it, what is it? I would love to know. Damn it. There's my guy, my main little guy. He is so cute. My dog's cuter than yours. No, I'm kidding. Where am I going to put you guys? There. Put you guys there. All right. Don't fall. Oh, okay. So, back in the bedroom with my dog. Hey, Yogi, it's a pity you can't see him. Can't angle the camera. I was thinking that I call it my main channel. Maybe this one will grow bigger. I think it's moving away from my original intentions to just share my honest experiences. And I think it's moving away because financially, I want videos that grow and do well. And so, again, I can see that the financial aspect of YouTube has changed the direction that I want to go with my videos. Sorry, Yogi. And then it just, excuse me, it proves that YouTube is a marketplace, and most people that are on there for financial reasons, and that's fine. I'm not judging. One thing is that I don't judge. I'm just saying that the financial part of it is, it's a reality of life. I mean, there's the nearly flashed again. I must be careful on this channel. There, Yogi. The financial aspect of life is sorry, boy. Sorry, boy. Check there. Check there. Isn't that so sweet? Come around to see his face. Look here. Is this the cutest thing you've ever seen, or what? Hey? Is this the cutest thing you've ever seen? Or what? Or what? But I just, that's why this channel, I'm going to stop talking about this channel and just do this channel, but I want this one to be so much purer. And by purer, I mean just like pure me sharing what's working for me just sharing what's in my head, in my heart, unfiltered, raw, real. I remember one of the things that inspired me to, there's the cupboard open and I should have closed it, but fuck it, it's real life. One of the things that inspired me to start my channel was all the way back in the day when I got my boobs done. I turned to YouTube for personal stories, how women recovered, how they dealt with the whole thing, from decision making to finding a doctor to choosing a doctor to whether to go over or under the muscle, the whole thing. And I took great comfort in hearing their stories and learning about the recovery process and what's normal and what's not normal. You know, back then surgery was a big deal. Look, it's always a big deal, but it wasn't. It was common for women to get boob jobs, but I personally only knew one or two ladies. It wasn't as common as it is today. I think nowadays actually the trend is moving back away from boobs. Thank you, thank God. I think Pamela Anderson spurred a whole lot of women to go on this boob job thing. Anyway, I'm happy, no regrets. But it was those ladies who shared their stories openly on YouTube that inspired me to start my YouTube channel. And then I put all my boob job stuff up. You can see one or two of them. And then I took them all down because I was like, is this too much? Is this being too open and vulnerable and sharing something very personal to a woman, her boobs? And it could cross the line, and you know, there's always dodgy dudes on the internet who want to look at your boobs and they take that whole topic in the wrong way. So, excuse me. So there was that I pulled some of those videos down because I was showing the scarring underneath. And yeah, and then I thought, well, am I showing too much flesh? But YouTube had always called to me. And I do regret taking those original videos of mine down, even though I wasn't as fluent and as good as I am now. Fluent meaning flowing, not fluent English. My English is fine. So then when I was struggling with perimenopause, that's when I got the feeling and the drive to restart, because I wanted to share genuinely those struggles. And again, I turned to YouTube and I got some answers from women and some doctors. And there's this genuine side of people on YouTube where they are genuinely sharing in the hopes to help someone. And then there's this whole negative side, the marketplace side, the side where it's brand deals and sponsorships and pumping out content for content's sake. And I'm conflicted. I am. Because now that I have to either make a go of YouTube or get another job, I am in the hamster wheel of pumping out pumping out content, conflicted about the seeing it as a job. And so this whole online diary style that I'm doing with this is like going to be my baby. I'm assuming you're going to watch this when you're very relaxed, when you've got nothing else to do. This is the style of content that you can just play while you're in the bath, while you're falling asleep, while you're driving. You can watch me on double speed, triple speed, whatever. But it's a human being just speaking her experiences into the world. And to me, that is what the true meaning of YouTube is and was and should be. And it's not perfect. It's not polished. It's never going to be perfect and polished. My other channel, I will keep experimenting with things that grow, things that do well. It is still me, but it is like the public persona of me. And this is far more me, the real me, the me that drinks coffee in between talking. And you're going to hear a coffee slurp and you're going to see my bedroom messy and the dirty floors. And I wanted that. And then I was like, oh, but no one wants to see that. And then I thought, no, but everyone wants to see a professional background and a professional YouTuber. And this one is for me. And this is actually what I believe in. And yes, it's rambling. And yes, it can be boring. But that's okay. There is a time and a place for these kinds of videos, and I have to realize that not everything will appeal to everyone, and I cannot appeal to everyone. And this is a metaphor for life. It is a life metaphor. You cannot appeal to everyone. When I was younger, all I wanted was just to be liked by everyone. In relationships too, with boyfriends, it was just like me, like me, like me, love me, love me. And I hated conflict. I hated when people disagreed or didn't like something about me or said something mean about me. In fact, I hated it so much that I either wouldn't acknowledge it or I was so people-pleasing that, I don't know, basically I was so wishy-washy, very wishy-washy. And the blessing and the lesson about being on YouTube is that, like on my main channel, my BPC video, which is doing really well, is also a video that's getting some criticism because I basically stopped using BPC within a week, and everyone's like, oh, what a lame video. And they're right. They are absolutely right. And now I'm older, stronger, wiser. I can take the criticism and I can see that they are right. Still kind of, you think, oh, not everyone enjoyed that video, and I've probably lost the opportunity to gain subscribers because that video was disappointing to them. But I have to deal with it and I have to take it. I'm a big girl. Take it. And yet, ironically, that video is doing really well, and it is the video that's getting the most comments. So there you go. Sometimes the controversial videos or the not great ones do better than you think. Very interesting. And YouTube is an interesting metaphor for life. I have no regrets about doing YouTube. It's really grown me as a person, and it's shown and taught me a lot of things. Yeah, it really has. I never would have had this amount of confidence to just speak to a camera. Probably, would it translate to public speaking? I don't know. I don't think so, because this is a certain kind of skill, and then talking to an audience would be a whole different ball game and a whole different skill. Imagine a world where cellulite was actually something to be shown off, where cellulite was something that we wanted, and that if we had cellulite on our thighs, we felt beautiful and gorgeous. Can you imagine that? And I don't know if you guys have seen that that Instagrammer. I can't think of her name now. It was Donna something, but she was I don't know if she's still on Instagram. I've gone on and off Instagram for so many times. She was the cellulite promoting chick, where she was like, you can have cellulite at any weight, any size, any age. What was her name, man? If any of you can remember, please put it in the comments. But then it makes you think, imagine a world where as you aged, you got excited for your first wrinkle. It was like, ooh, a milestone, a celebration. Imagine a world where wrinkly old lady skin on your hands was also a celebration. Yes, I sound obsessed about aging, anti-aging, the body looks. Well, I am. It's just something that fascinates me. It is my interest. I should have become an esthetician maybe, or maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe it would have driven me more crazy. But it's something I think about, and why not? It's my channel. I can talk about it if I want to. But actually, I promise you, I'm not as obsessed as I sound. I'm just giving voice to the things that I feel we are all ashamed to talk about, and that it's not that everyone thinks about it all day long. I've obviously got more time because I'm doing this for a living now for YouTube. So I've got the time to think about what do women think about. So I voice it, but I think. I'm saying I think a lot. It's in the back of our heads and our minds because of marketing, TV, media, actresses that look 20 years younger than they really are, all these things. So it's in the back of our minds. It's that pervasive thing, pervasive, not perversive. And we feel like we shouldn't be so superficial, but then we are, because we think about these things, and then we get caught up in a trap of, well, I don't care about looks at all. I'm not that superficial, but then actually I do. And then we sneak off and we do a little treatment or a procedure, and then we're not sure. Should we tell people? Because people are very, very judgy over plastic surgery still to this day, over tweakments, Botox enhancements, especially in smaller towns, smaller countries. I don't know what it's like overseas, but in South Africa, women get these things done, but they don't really talk about it. Not much, not on social media. It's not like I'm seeing any of my friends and they say, oh, I got this done, and oh, I got that done. There's still a bit of a judgment and a criticism. So shame. I mean, one friend confided in me she got threads in her face. I really hope she didn't waste her money, because I don't think threads really work for the. But then people do like them. I'm not judging her. I would get them done if I thought that they would work and that they would replace surgery. I would be there in a heartbeat, but the cost of them seems a bit prohibitive, because you don't get the results that you hope for. But anyway, So she shared that with me, but I know that other women will judge her. Other women in the friends group would be, and I mean, I've received criticism from my own friends for even for my feelings of being not good enough and then getting lip filler or whatever. I can see that they're judging me, they're sad for me, they feel like they're above me if they didn't do it, because look at me, I don't stoop down to getting lip filler. But what I will say is that we women who do things to ourselves, it's really always out of a place of insecurity and out of a desire to be beautiful. Every woman wants to feel beautiful. And so we chase these things. It's like, I think men probably, I'm guessing now, I'm not a man, but I think men chase financial success and wealth and business success because that is how, more so, how they are judged, just traditionally. And so I think they feel less than if they are earning less or not able to provide or in between jobs or whatever. And we females feel insecure and less than if we don't look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way, have our hair a certain way, or whatever it is to do with our looks. So I think the society we live in, it's hard to break out of it. So it would be awesome though if if things were flipped on their head and that things that are reality were celebrated. Wouldn't that be so, so cool? Ooh, my car smells so good. It looks so good. It's just been for a car wash, which is awesome. I do it once every now and then when it really looks disgusting, and it was looking disgusting. Oh, but the thing is, they adjust everything, and I'm a shorty. Okay, this little smelly doofy. Let me show you the smelly doofy. The smelly doofy over there. This little thing here. That smells. That's vanilla. That's my favorite smell. Let's see if I prop you up here. Will that work? Let's try. Practice with the YouTubes. Oh, but now the steering wheel's in the way. Anyway, so the nice thing is this particular car wash is right by a shopping mall. It makes more sense to me to, who's hooting, to go to a shopping mall while you're having your car washed so that you can shop as well. And so I got a few essentials, nose plasters for my nighttime breathing, and I got some sunscreen. And then I was thinking, you get such a variety of price points for sunscreen, okay? And like there's this brand, Sunlab, they do these massive cans of sunscreen, 50, factor 50. And I wonder, why is it so cheap? Is it because it's of a inferior quality, or is it just an honest brand that is honestly at a decent price point? And then you get all the different, like for kids, for this, for sports, for that. And is there really a difference to the formulation? So anyway, in terms of shopping, sometimes you get a bit confused, don't you? Like, I ended up buying what's the word? Like a gel cream sunscreen. Can you even see me? Or is it just not at the angle? Like a gel creamy one, because sometimes these oily sprays tend to, sometimes the oily sprays tend to not last when you're running. So yeah, where am I going to prop this? How's this going to go? Is this going to even work? So yeah, I do wonder about price point, and if any of you guys know, is there any value to buying a more expensive sunscreen? No, that's not going to work. And so then I think, no wonder in the modern world we are just so exhausted. If you think about just shopping for sunscreen, it was like 10 minutes of decision making, like, do I save 200 Rand and buy, or actually save a lot more, because when you buy the big can, it lasts a lot longer. So do I save, like, okay, let's say 300 Rand on a big can, but then is it the same quality, and am I getting the same protection, and will and your brain there's 10 minutes of fucking brain exhaustion because there's 10 million brands, 10 million price points. I don't know. And then do I buy one specifically for the face or not? Is there a difference? Okay, some of the face ones have got a nice feel. They're not super oily, but the older I get, the drier my skin gets. And so maybe I want the oily feel. Even sitting down to have a coffee and a lunch, well, you got to think what's not too expensive, because these days shit is so expensive. Guys, I tell you, I want to cry. My favorite chocolate, Lindt 70% dark chocolate, is 74 Rand 99, 75 Rand. When I first moved up back to Durban from the South Coast, I used to live further down the South Coast, a Lindt chocolate was about, I'm trying to remember now even, 35 Rand, 40 max, I think. It's almost doubled in 4 years. 2018? Yeah. It's basically doubled in price almost. So now if the cost of living, of groceries, of food, toilet paper more than doubled, if everything's more than doubled in 4 years, okay, maybe not everything, but most things, how can they say that inflation is like 5%, 6%? It is not. It is like freaking 20%. Petrol also more than doubled. It's and I am in a privileged position in life where I'm not like a cleaner, a wait staff. I'm not a secretary, a PA on a set salary. These people who only get like a 5% salary increase, how do they survive? And I know my partner employs people and he can't even afford to pay them more, because then he's got to put up his rates and then the customers don't buy, and it's a never-ending vicious cycle. I don't know how people survive, and yeah, it's frightening. And you would experience the same thing wherever you're living. There's inflation, of course. No country is immune to inflation. And then, so there's all this pressure. Then you cut back on your spending. Like I just feel like it's highway robbery, and I just cannot buy Lindt. And then I bought another brand, a cheaper brand from Clicks. Clicks is like a Boots. If you're in England, you would know what Boots is. Clicks is the same thing here in South Africa. I bought this cheaper brand of dark chocolate, but it's gross. And then it's got these nibs in it, which, I don't like the texture. And so, yes, I'm eating it, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So while I was waiting for my car, and yet the car wash is relatively cheap, I must say, strangely enough, and their prices haven't gone up. So I don't know how they afford it. But I was sitting having a cup of coffee waiting for the car. So I was Googling, like, what does Nicole Kidman do to her skin and her face? And of course, it's all speculation, but there's nothing concrete. So, I wish that it were far easier for us lay people, women, normal women, to just know what they've done, just so that we can see it. Well, because whatever she's doing is working. Let's put it that way. I talk about Nicole Kidman a lot because, I mean, Jesus Christ, the woman doesn't age. And yeah, I'm jealous, friggin' jealous. I would love to look like that at her age. So what the hell has she done to her skin? Is she doing to her skin? What is, all the articles say sunscreen and retinol. Well, I'm doing that and my skin ain't looking that good, I can tell you what. So I just would love to know what she is doing to her skin. And then, we also can drive ourselves crazy. I do know, like, you can chase. You can use collagen and all that thing. I don't even think collagen supplements really work and are worth it. They're so expensive as well, because collagen is made inside your body by your body from the raw ingredients and the materials from what you eat. So you need to have enough vitamin C and enough amino acids. Your body will make the collagen, and as you get older, if you cannot make it, what's the point of, you can't drink it and it goes to your skin. So I don't think that just supplements alone will do much. And then again, I mean, like I've said, you look at Jane Fonda, all the resources in the world, and she still has aged. I mean, you cannot not age. And there's always the giveaway telltale signs, like your elbows. I mean, my elbow skin is like, ugh, it's disgusting, people. And yet it's also not disgusting, it's just normal. So, okay, when I say yuck and disgusting, I don't, maybe actually that sounds bad because, yeah, maybe I sound judgmental. I'm judging myself. I'm holding myself to this high standard, but I must be careful because then, like, oh, my mom, I've got you guys on my lap, my mom, my friends, and my family. I really do not judge them. I think they are beautiful. They are amazing. Maybe it's because I look at my friends and family and I think, sure, they are beautiful and amazing. And I feel inadequate sometimes, to be very honest. I do. I feel inadequate sometimes. And particularly now that I'm not earning a living, I'm starting to feel, I am starting to feel worthless. My sense of worth has gone down because I'm not bringing in a salary right now. If I get that Google pin, or I can verify my address without the pin, which is possible apparently, then if I start seeing money rolling into my bank account, I will feel a lot more worthy. And it's just a number. It's not the real reflection of my worth. I know this, guys. I know your bank account is not a true reflection of your worth. But I cannot, for the life of me, help feeling that way. We all feel that way. Comment below if you feel that way. I'm sure if you lost your contract, lost your job, lose an income, your sense of self-worth takes a knock. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. And so what do I do to mitigate that? I'm trying my best to be the money saver in the family now by looking at prices. And so then you exhaust your brain standing there looking at two different sunscreens for 10 minutes. It's crazy. You know what? Before I get home, today's Friday the 9th of February 2024. I can feel it's been a long week and I'm tired. I'm going to see some friends tomorrow and I need the social get out. But I want to ask you, how are you? How are you? How are you doing? I want to ask you, how are you really doing? Really, really, really. It's something that it is lacking in modern society. Even though I've got friends, I've got family, I've got loved ones, there's something about the modern world that does disconnect us. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the faster pace, if it's the fact that everything is so expensive, but a lot of us are struggling. So I genuinely, let me know how are you really doing? And from my heart to your heart, just take a virtual hug. I really, really do care. I care how all of you are doing. Obviously, I don't know every one of you individually. Some of you may be my friends who stumble upon this channel. But just know that, I'm just checking the microphone, just know that it's okay to take time out. It's also okay to reach out to friends. It's okay to just be a fucked up human being in a fucked up world. And the older I get, the more I realize that life is never ever what you think it's going to be. Never. So it's Friday. I'm going to take a break, take a rest, try not to work over the weekend with YouTube, try not to do too much. This is the problem with being I can't believe I'm a fucking content creator at 45. It's a problem with being a content creator is you never switch off. And burnout, I can see now why they burn out. It's real. And it's chasing the numbers. So I am struggling. I need to find the way to do this that's sustainable. And I need to look after myself, and I need to take a weekend for my heart and my soul. And just sending you guys lots of love.